All right, Andre. I'll preface this with I didn't do this sphere. Well, I didn't do it yet. I'll probably do it before class starts, but I'd rather turn the video in now and I'll worry about it later. But yeah, let's start with further work again. That way I don't forget. So yeah, question 3 and 4. After I read this further question, I hit myself in the face because yeah, I did have multiple pointers, and I changed it to one because well, I changed it for one model pointer per model type. And the reason why we did this, the advantage is because we had like a bunch of extra data for no reason, right? So we created pointers with data that we were reusing. So we had basically, in my case, I had like two cubes, I believe, two boxes, and I had one pointer for each box, but it was the same data. Like that data doesn't change, so you only really need one pointer for it. And essentially we're using it as like a proxy object in our case, yeah, pseudo proxy object to do all the rendering for it based on the shaders. Yeah, and then number 4, I wrote a shader class somewhere. Here we go. So here's my header, and then I actually used it. The only thing I don't like about my shader class is it's super simple, right? Really, I'm just running the compile from shader code here. And then I have a bunch of getters and setters that I'm using, or excuse me, a bunch of getters that I am using for the compile from shader, not for compile from shader, but so I can use it from the app when I am actually, sorry, I thought I was in the right place, when I'm actually setting up the device. What I don't like about this is two things really. First, layout. I had a brain fart when I was playing around with the layout, and I tried to have my shader use the layout object as well, and I couldn't get it to work, and then I stopped to do other work, and so it's here now. So my layout is defined outside of where the shader is created, and then that shader will use that layout when, excuse me, the M3, the DirectX device will use the layout with this shader when we set up the different shaders for the input layout. But yeah, so this works. Yeah, it's not running. So I have both the color selected, or color selected 3D and the simple color shaders working on two separate objects. Only using one pointer for pyramids, one pointer for cubes. Yeah, and that wasn't too bad. It didn't take too long to do that, which is nice. And yeah, so I'm using both shaders. And this is question 4. Yeah, I'm going backwards on my question 2. So question 4, so I have two shaders. I have my color select 3D shader, and then I have my simple color shader. And they are acting on my two models, my unit box, my unit pyramid. And then down in the draw, I basically am excuse me, set the immediate context for a color selected 3D shader. I draw those, and then I set the context for the simple color 3D shader, and then I draw those two objects. The two objects in my case, and then all I do is just change the world data. So for the color selected, I had the struct that you created, which is the world and color data, and then I just made a new struct that just has world data for the simple color one. Okay, question tray. This was, I don't remember what we did for question 3. Question 3 was we 3 pre-made models using color selected. What? 3 pre-made models. Oh, that's just question 1. Sorry. Oh, question 1. So I used simple color 3D, and so now my pyramids are using simple color 3D instead of the other one, and that was basically changing the not the shader, changing the world color data. So I just got rid of the color vector in here, and then I changed the shader call from color selected to simple color, and then we're drawing that, and that's why we have the different colors for that. Question 1. All right. Yes. Question 3 was, oh gosh, Jesus. Oh, so this is question 2. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Question 2, we were using the create pyramid. So now I have create pyramid, to drawing a pyramid using the model tools, which is here. That's box. Create pyramid. So I have my create pyramid code being called instead of actually the same way that the create cube was being called. which is well, you saw it earlier, but it's what? Using the unit pyramid. Okay, that's questions. Now I can go to question 3, which I've been trying to talk about every time, and that's I have 3 objects, 2 cubes, 1 pyramid, 1 pointer, a piece. Yeah. Yeah. So I will. I'll get that sphere to you at some point. Hopefully it won't take too long. But yeah, it was just I ran out of time. But yeah, this was fun writing the shader class. It's been a while. Hopefully we talk about it today because there's definitely some design flaws with mine. But for now, it serves the simple purpose of pulling out code, reusable code. That way we can, obviously make this a better rendering engine per se. All right, Andre. I will see you tonight.